Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to A Link to the Past Randomizer League, Week 3, Casual Boots. Up next, we have Clown Routing 101 versus yet another Bonk in the Castle Tower Division. Arcturus Chusky representing Clown Routing 101, and Akaelyne representing yet another Bonk. Should be an exciting race this evening. We have the only undefeated team in the Castle Tower Division represented tonight. This should be a very exciting race. My name is Trey Spire. I will be your commentator / half tracker this evening. Joining me is Pull Float doing our restream and the other half of tracking. We are a two-man group this evening. It'll be a lot of fun. We should be getting started here relatively soon. Just a bit about both teams. Like I said, yet another Bonk, undefeated so far, has gone 4-0. With Akaelyne taking a few of those wins. Clown Routing 101 with Arcturus Chusky taking multiple wins for our team. I should say I am a member of Clown Routing 101 here. Hello. But unbiased commentary here today. Here in a few seconds, we should be off. And here we go. Uncle's saying that he thought this was open, but if only Uncle's 3 weeks into the future. Open's not till week 6. But here we have a standard open. Rain state, go through escape, save Zelda, get to the back of the. Go through Hyrule Castle, save Zelda, as if you were playing the game normally. So far, not too much exciting. Some pieces of heart, some money. About a normal escape here so far. One nice thing about the difference between casual boots and open, well, since Uncle decided to bring up open, we don't have to worry about farming for any bombs. Since we do have boots to open up the back of escape, so don't have to worry about prize packs or what enemies are dropping or anything like that. Although bombs are nice for whenever we get to Kakariko, so we can just do everything. Get everything done. Of course, boots just make this opening sequence that much faster. It's the nice thing about Kaz boots. We start with a sword. We start with boots. I mean, we all like to go fast, right? Going fast is always nice. Although the nice thing about going through the escape sequence like this, one, we oftentimes get to see the runners in sync a lot, which is always a very neat thing to see. And a lot of this is very execution heavy, since we're going to be seeing the same exact screens, the same enemies. It's almost as if we're watching an NMG race, but with boots. I should start a counter for how many times I can say the word boots tonight, because it's Kaz boots. There's our map, which does mean we are in one of the next 2 checks. We're gonna get a small key, and then everything else in here is nothing but gold. I'm gonna hope, and not Triforce pieces. Hopefully, we're gonna get some nice items out of escape. Because as some members of chat have mentioned, we do have MSU packs tonight. A new edition for the Open League and those restreams happening on the ALTTPR League channels. We do have some approved MSU, so you will hear some new music to accompany your Zelda gameplay in the coming weeks. Interesting little bit of divergence there. Not often you see you actually get to talk about divergence in Hyrule Castle, even though we came together, you know, almost immediately. I have always wondered if it was faster to run straight down or go to the right after coming out of there with boots. I think we found our answer this evening. Into the back of Escape we go. Zelda, being the gracious host of Hyrule Castle that she is, does give us a light cone. Since we don't have a lamp, she lets us at least see where we're going through the back here so that we can save her. And over. We get our third piece of heart in this seed so far. Normally I'd say something about the seed being very healthy, but we haven't gotten any extra containers yet. Alright, both runners taking down the key rat, gonna bonk into the wall to get the 3 of the last 4 checks out of Hyrule Castle. And there's our 4th heart, a shield, and the ether medallion. Ether's a nice one to have. So, it does let you at least freeze some enemies and remove some pesky Moldorms out of their cave if we get there. Just a little bit easier. Alright, Akaelyne, the first out of Escape. Arc not too far behind her, though, and just 20 more rupees for our reward. Both runners running right out. And we'll see where they go. The world is now open to us. We have many ways that we can go. But first, of course, we're going to stop at Bonk Rocks because we have boots. There's no reason not to stop here. And we get a second medallion. The Quake medallion. We find, lots of information here. 20 rupees on the bush crab, but single bombs on the tier 2 tree pool. Very interesting. So we have our bombs for Kakariko, and we have plenty of money for whatever else we need money for. I did not quite see what that was. It's just 10 arrows. All right. Hopefully we won't have to go see the wizard at the top of the castle tower today. Fingers crossed. As both runners make their way through the Lost Woods. A heart container, chillin'. Akaelyne opting to avoid it, Arc taking it for safety. Both very valid plays. I would consider both of them myself. Then just 20 more rupees, chillin'. in the thieves' hideout. So Akaelyne deciding to at least grab one more bomb just to be safe. Extra bombs are never a bad thing to grab. Arc deciding not to since he did get that one bomb drop earlier. And both runners into Blind's house. See what we get here. A hook shot is very nice. That's going to speed up our movement a little bit. In places where bombs are not bombs. In places where the boots are a little not as useful to use, they'll waste a little bit of time. The hook shot can at least make up for some of that for movement. We have both a hook shot and a glove out of Blind's hut. And our third medallion, Bombos. Well, there's no question about whether or not we're going to be able to get into Meyer and TR today. Just some more money sitting here in the well, as well as blue mail. Remember I said the seed was healthy? I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go back on that and say for sure that it is. And we got our Master Sword off of the Bottle Merchant. So to make me a liar, where's the lamp to make us do Aga 1? Kakariko fairly stacked today. Not going to complain too much about a hook shot, a glove, and a sword. And bombos, for that matter. Alright. Akaelyne checking race game. It's 20 rupees, just like the library was. Going to save and quit and go elsewhere. Arc right behind her. See where the runners decide to go. Akaelyne is making her way down toward the dam, and it looks like Arc is chasing right behind. Be interesting to see where they go after this. I know there are some runners, myself included, that where if you do the dam, it's nice to go right over to Agina so you don't isolate him entirely. But some people like to just leave that be and go straight over to the right and get Mini Moldorm and all that fun stuff, which it appears Akaelyne here is doing. So we'll see how that pans out. Arc is following right behind again. Come through Mini Moldorm Cave. This should be no problem with the gear that we have. Master Sword takes out the Mini Moldorms. The Hookshot takes out the Mini Moldorms. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could Bombos or Ether the Mini Moldorms. They're pretty much down for the count here. But not a lot here with the Mini Moldorms. Most notable thing out of here, a heart container. We're going to make our way right up to the Ice Rod Cave. I would not be surprised to see both runners do a fun little glitch called water walking. Ooh, that's a bow. That's exciting. Water walking. I got distracted by the bow. You can see here, Akaelyne is setting up where you run right out, right along the pit of the cave. And we have now stored, as it is called, our water walk. This is going to allow them to literally walk on water. Sometimes reading the glitch explains the glitch, or at least what it is intended to do. And I definitely see here both runners are going to go right for the waterfall and Zora. Zora is in logic. The waterfall is not without the flippers. And there's our moon pearl and a shovel. Interesting. Moon pearl is nice. But that does mean that our flippers, logically, are somewhere in the light world or on the pyramid ledge. Alright, both runners running right over to the King Zora himself. Normally it's just a piece of love, but this time it's the whole thing. Here's a slight difference. Arc picking it up sent him back into the fake flipper state, because that's what picking up an item does. Akaelyne is going to be able to take their water walk right back down and go check the man under the bridge. Arc, on the other hand, is going to take that bow and go straight over to Eastern Palace. $20 rupees on Lake Hylia Island. We're probably not going to see that ever again. At last, a little divergence. Alright. 10 arrows under the bridge. He could have kept those. There's our cape. And a mushroom. Cape and mushroom in Sahasrara's closet. Those will be interesting to see how those factor in. And we have a map check. Goodness gracious, Arc. I know I saw Green Pendant Hera and I saw Blue Crystal Eastern, but I didn't quite catch Desert Palace. So I guess we'll just wait on Akaelyne to catch that. Or I'm gonna trust our wonderful restreamer and agree that Desert's a Blue Crystal, and we can correct ourselves later. Arc making the play into Eastern Palace. Let's see what we get out of here. We are looking for something to send us into the Dark World, whether that's another glove or the hammer at this point, or a lamp. Because a lamp also allows us to do Castle Tower for access to the Dark World. Do I wish that on anyone? No, I don't. But it is definitely something that needs to be taken into consideration here as it stands. But also logically, we are looking for these wherever these flippers are, because those flippers are essentially holding the Moon Pearl in our inventory hostage. Not too much here in Eastern yet, though. We have a big key and a map, which means our items are a little deeper. We're going to leave here with at least one logical item, possibly two and a third. Well, I guess with how I know, at least what I know about these runners, I do believe that they will be able to full clear this dungeon. And there's our lamp. So that sends us to the Dark World. Or it can send us up the mountain, actually. Now that let me step back for a moment. This could be sending us up the mountain. There's a lot up there we can do with what we have. It is 2 of our 3 items out of this dungeon, though. There is one more. And Eastern Palace is a crystal. So we're probably going to end up finishing this out. Anyway, we're already here. There's no reason not to. our third item, 300 rupees. So, Ark is going to finish off this dungeon, I am sure, and then we'll see where he decides to go after that. Akaelyne is right behind, though. Plenty of health and plenty of money this season so far. We've already paid Zora, and we're already back up to 400 rupees on both sides. Ark stocking up on some arrows. Going the first one into the first boss fight of this race with the Armos Knights. See if he can set up the quick kill here. And the Knights go down. Very nice job, Arcturus Chusky, taking the first crystal at 19 minutes on the dot. Pull float, not, I'm sorry, not pull float. Here I am looking at looking at a chat here. Akaelyne right behind though. Also, ooh, unfortunately takes out that last the knight intended to be taken out last. Still a nice fight regardless. Sealing in her third crit, 19 minutes and 35 seconds. Ark heading right up the mountain. Makes perfect sense. I agree with it. It makes the most sense. It's the most dense area left currently. Although we have some fetch quests to do. Have a shovel and a mushroom. Gotta figure out when you want to do those too. Any of those could also just be our flippers, which would just put us in logic. And what is logic but a suggestion? Oh no, Dead Rocks. The worst enemy in the game. It's okay, we got through. Piece of heart from Gary. We're gonna continue up to Spectacle Rock. Some bombs on top. And inside, 50 rupees. So more than likely, if there is progression up here, at this point, it's over on East Stuff Mountain. Wouldn't you love to just see a hammer here? I'd love to see a hammer here. That let us go into wow, pod. The Tower of Hera. Technically, we can go into pod too if we get a hammer, but you know, relevant dungeons first. The Tower of Hera is up here. Well, it is green pendant. Or rather, wow, it is a pendant. It's the green pendant, which means it is an extra item for taking out Moldorm. And Hera's are relatively quick dungeons, especially since we have the hook shot, and there are, you know, a plethora of ways to perform Hera Pot, as it is known, to just basically teleport right up the mountain, or right up the tower. Our first bottle, always nice to see, filled with a red potion. A nice safety to have. And there are our flippers. So now the question becomes, what does the seed want us to do? Is it expecting us to take down Aga 1? Or is it going to be gracious and give us a hammer or a glove. 50 rubies on Sky Island. There's one more check the runners can make up here before they have to make a decision on whether they're going to turn in some of these fetch quests that they have, or they're just going to dare to climb with a large majority of the Dark World open to them already. Ark, what did you do? I have multiple questions. Unfortunately, that's going to cause a save and quit, and he's going to go elsewhere. I don't blame him. I looked away for 1 second to just double check something on my screen to make sure, you know, tracker was updated or whatnot, and suddenly he's in a wall. Luckily for Ark, there's nothing there. However, that's gonna weigh on his mind. I guarantee you that's gonna weigh on his mind for a long while. It's an item that's just sitting there. And if he is adverse to doing AGA 1, there is a good chance he's going to go back up there before making the call to climb, if this is required AGA 1. Akaelyne is checking the mushroom turn-in. Meanwhile, Ark's gonna go. He's gonna go digging for some treasure. Mushroom is nothing, and Akaelyne is safe scumming the mushroom. Well, all the fetch quests is done. I believe we're climbing Aga Tower. Not quite yet. They do have to do the opposite checks, of course. But it does look like Aga Tower is the call here. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Ark puts off going back up to Spiral Cave, or if he decides to just climb Aga Tower. Ark, you gotta turn on the mushroom first. There you go. There you go. I believe in you. All right, moment of truth. He is also safe scumming his mushroom. So the reason for safe scumming the mushroom is we can do a little minor glitch known as fake powder with the mushroom once we acquire the Cane of Samaria. The cane will allow us to... Ark, where are you going? Oh, he's going to under the bridge. Oh, and of course, Agina. How could I forget Agina? My apologies. I was explaining fake powder. So fake powder, once you use so if you have an empty magic bar and you try to use the cane with without any magic, and you pause upon using the cane, if you pause and switch to the mushroom or the powder, by the way, it will act as if you'd use the powder for whatever reason. It works. It's really nice. It gets you the magic bat check. But here we see both runners running right up into the castle, or going to Aga. Yep, 27 minutes later, and we are all tied up. So with Castle Tower, or Aga Tower, whichever you feel like calling it, There's 2 chests. They both have small keys. They have to. That's the nature of any non-key mode. So this is straight down to execution between the 2 runners. So we'll see who gets to the top first. Normally I would say, hey, we have a race, but we're only half an hour in. There's still lots of rando to go. Good game knowledge on Akaelyne's side, knowing where the extra hearts are up here in Castle Tower. I can tell you, I didn't know there was a heart underneath that pot. That's really good to know. Plus, using her arrows to take out these red guards makes this climb that much easier. And just like that, even with that fall, they went through this door at the same time. The difference here being red guard RNG. Gotta love RNG. Although this next part coming up is not RNG. The number of blue balls Aga will give us is seeded between both runners. They will both see the same number, provided they hit every reflectable shot back. If you want to get your guesses in as to how many are there going to be, go for it. Anywhere between 0 and 15, I believe. A nice secondary game to the GT Big Key game. I see some 15s. There's a 2. 37 DJ Maelstrom. Oh boy. There's 1. There's 2. And 3. We're getting there. My normal guess is 3. So even I would be incorrect because there's 4. Oh man. Aga not playing nice today. The answer was 4. Alright. Agging him down into the dark world. 31-12. We have 1, 2, 4, 7. Sorry. I was map tracking as I do for myself. We have rare crystals at Pod and Swamp Palace, and then pendants at Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. This is an interesting layout for our dungeon prizes. We're gonna see where our runners are gonna go. It looked like Akaelyne was thinking about going north, but both runners making the decision to go over to Pod. Now, Pod with just a bow is not a bad decision. Especially considering in the vanilla game, normally you have to go into Pod without a hammer, as it is, because you get the hammer in Pod. Who's to say there's not a hammer in Pod now? It's real fun when your hammer's vanilla, but I guess knock on wood. Let's hope that doesn't happen here today. That would just be rude. They are neck and neck. One small key in the shooter room. Not a bad find. So with Pod, there are 4 small keys in the front 6 chests. That is, that chest there that they just opened. There are 2 on the right behind the bow, and then 3 right through this key door. Of those 6, 4 of them must be small keys. There could be 6 small keys up here, but 4 of them must be small keys. That's because you could take your keys and use them in such a way that if there were less than 4, you could potentially lock yourself out of the dungeon. I've seen my fair share of 5 key pods. I really would love to see a 6 key. They are a dime. Well, they're not a dime a dozen. Not today, but I'm sure our owners are going to be very happy to see a tempered sword this early. And our Titan's Myth. So that's natural Dark World access. And also means that, depending upon where that, well, I guess it's for sure aggro required, but it's always nice just getting those myths right away. I think Art got a little confused as to where he was going. Or got super excited about the myths and decided he maybe wanted to leave, but it's sticking with the dungeon for now. Not a bad decision. With the little goof there, Akaelyne does pull ahead. Getting back out of from the left side is a little bit of a pain without the mirror and with blue mail. You're probably going to see both runners here set up a death warp. Arc's going to have a little bit of a harder time since he does have more health. It's the one advantage that not picking up those 2 heart containers gives to Akaelyne here. But we're going to continue on. Opening up the wall over to the big chest already is something I greatly approve of. It makes routing in the dark maze that much faster. You've already opened. You don't have to wait for the door to open, or for the wall to open rather. All right, there's our 3rd item. It's just a heart container, another key. Logically, I do believe that means that the Harmless Hellway, as it is called, to the south here is a small key. So we're going to see Akaelyne avoid it, and Arc should as well, as long as he's reading his key logic correctly. Ten more bombs, 1 more item in here, and there's a good chance it's on Helmless King, whom we cannot reach at the moment. It'll be very interesting to see where these runners go after this. There are 3 bombs. Akaelyne counting her items, knows that pod is empty. We're done here. Let's go elsewhere. The question is where? Going to Link's house. Arc, however, thinking about it, is going to take a death instead. Oh, right. We have the portal because we defeated Akaelyne. That is a perfectly valid and good reason to start at Link's house. Arc, in their hand, taking the death to walk out of Link's house. I believe Akaelyne's method is a little faster, because you don't have to walk through this maze. We're going to see where we're going to go. We're going right up to Catfish. Well, if you don't do this now, I feel like you just never do it, since there's nothing else up here at this point. You've done Zora. You've done everything in Zora's domain. You've done your mushroom turn-in. This is definitely the next logical check if you're going to do it at all. If you don't do this now, you don't do it. You never come back and you isolate this item, which can be bad. Today would not have been terrible, though. Alright, small high five here by our runners. As Arc is making his way up to Catfish. Akaelyne's going to work her way over toward West Dark World. It'll be interesting to see which of our runners, if either, decides to treat Skullwoods as overworld, or if we're going to hold off until we have a fire rod. That's definitely something that could happen. We're going to run up and check our Bumper Cave. Bumper Cave is accessible since we do have the cape. Not worth it though, as it is just a piece of heart. Akaelyne making the play into Skull Woods. There is a potential here to not actually get anything out of here, and both items are locked by the fire rod. It's a gamble. That's why a lot of runners will actually start in the middle and work their way back, just to make routing this a little bit nicer. But we get one item as a piece of heart. I'm gonna wait for our ride back. There it is, just in time. And back to the front of Skullwoods. Arc following right behind. Arc doing front to back, however. Depending upon where if the item is up here or not, this could burn him. We will see how this plays out. Because regardless of where it is here, Arc's gonna full clear the front, and then go to the middle for his second item. Nice hook shot through the spikes for Akaelyne. That was very nice. Misses the ride back though. Is just gonna walk out with the extra key that she got. We're gonna set up the bomb jump here. Two different ways of doing it. Both are equally as valid as the other. Some people prefer to face the front, some people prefer to face the back wall. Nothing in the front for Arc, though, for either runner, as a matter of fact. Arc's going to go back to the middle, grab his piece of heart, and probably be very sad, and then work his way toward the Village of Outcasts. Speaking of, 20 rupees. Nice find. Arc putting the Ether Medallion to good use. That is definitely a way to solve this room without dealing with a bunch of enemies. Into the brewery for just some money. And we're going to finish off the Village of Outcasts. And more than likely, take a dip into Pod. Just a piece of heart. Nothing here so far. I know there are some runners who like to avoid Pod if it's a pendant at all costs. Some like to go in with 4 items, or check the front 4. We'll see what Akaelyne is inclined to do. There's our big key. The big key has to be one of the front 4 because otherwise you can't finish the dungeon. So there's a potential to get 0 to 3 items here. There's our fire rod, of course. Of course it is. Because why wouldn't it be? Oh, you just finished going through Skullwoods? Here you go. I heard you wanted this. The good news is we need that fire rod. Because Skullwoods is it. And our silvers. Well, that's gonna make the seed free. Okay. Akaelyne deciding to just do the front 4 and leave. With that fire rod and those silvers, I do not blame her. That is well worth it. We'll see if she decides to go right back up to Skullwoods. The answer is yes. There's Ark's fire rod. I'm sure he's also rolling his eyes at it since he also just went through all of Skullwoods for nothing. Ooh, gets hit by the bunny beam hiding underneath the ledge. And he has this small key. The dangerous thing with that small key, keep in mind, the hammer, typically, if the small key is in the big chest, the hammer is required to beat this dungeon. However, since we have the small key, there is a very real chance that the hammer is in this dungeon. It could, the hammer could be on blind. This is an interesting decision from Mark to continue through. We'll see if it pays off. Meanwhile, Akaelyne is working her way to Moth. Moth, where the most dangerous thing in the room is the room. Doesn't phase Akaelyne one bit. The Moth is down. Crystal number 2 at 45 minutes and 38 seconds. Akaelyne hang right back in though because Moth did not drop the item. So the item is in that chest right there. It's going to be very interesting to see what is here. Oh, and I looked away and I missed it. Heck. Arc. It pays off. The flute is with blind. That's a very good... What are you doing? Choosing not to fight blind. I have several questions for my teammate. But that flute is a phenomenal find. He's going to head right back up to go fight Moth. Akaelyne, meanwhile, we save and quit, and we're going back to the Dark World. The easy way, because we have myths now. We're going to work our way through South Dark World, it appears. Maybe get Smith Chain done? Well, I suppose we're more asking, why are you death warping when there's still one item in that dungeon? No. he got all the items. There was what? It wasn't anything too exciting in the attic, if I remember right. Okay, you know what? Nope, I agree with his decision. He's counting items, and I believe in him. Alright, so Akaelyne gonna pick up the smith here. She's gonna take him on a small world tour. We're not going all the way up to Catfish since Catfish has already been seen. But he's gonna get at least a little bit of a walk before he gets to go home. Take him to visit our good friend Stumpy for an ice rod. A hopefully not required ice rod. As TR is a pendant today. Yeah, I mean, I also agree. I don't know if the Death Warp is the best plan when you could just save and quit and be if it's, you know, just run over from Sank and you're back in the Dark World. I'm not sure what's faster. Here we are debating that, and Narc just takes down the moth like no one's business. Meanwhile, Hype Cave, not so hype. Just a bunch of money. Arc claims his second crystal. He's going back in for a second item. Makes sense. More than likely, he'll save and quit from here and activate his flute, which would be in his best interest, I feel. Hype Cave, yes. The hype definitely in quotes there. Not a whole lot exciting to be had. Akaelyne dashing down with the smith. Gonna take the smith home. Arc, what are you doing? I guess we're taking another Death Warp here. Interesting. $20 rupees from the Smiths. Nothing too exciting. We're just getting a save and quit and up the mountain. Not a bad decision. We do have Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny here we can do. Plus, well, I would say we can check what we can just check what medallion we need for TR, but we have them all, so it doesn't matter. But still, 6 items up here is not a bad decision. Not a bad decision at all. We also have Ice Palace open to us without a hammer. Where is this hammer? Oh, that's something I do all the time. Pick the wrong cave, find a shop, trying to go to Super Bunny all the time. I imagine here Arc is probably going to, after he's probably going to follow Akaelyne down to Hype Cave. Nice one dig heart, by the way. That always feels good. I miss that on Akaelyne's side because I know she did it. Speaking of Akaelyne's side, a very explosive Super Bunny cave. But I do imagine Arc is probably going to turn in the Smith and then activate the flute at the same time. Sometimes, listen, there's a reason we have a team called Clown Routing 101. Sometimes they take lessons a little too literally. There's the hammer. And butter. That's a very nice hookshot cave. That hammer sends us places. We can finish Pod. We can finish Ice without Samaria. We can get into TR. Well, no, we can't. We can open TR. We can get to Hera. we're going to ice. I really like this decision from Akaelyne's point of view. I would also be diving Ice Palace immediately. It's a crystal you need to do. It's logically full clearable. Get it done. Get your crystal dungeons done, right? We have a saying, A, B, C, D. Always be clearing dungeons. Oh, do your crystal dungeons. Why not? That's what they're there for, right? So we'll see how this Ice Palace pans out. So far, just a compass in the compass chest. Arc activating his flute. I wonder what he's planning, where he's planning to go next, because he's got options to him. Options available to him, other than obviously taking the Smith home. I could see him at this point possibly going back into the Dark World to grab the purple chest. It's going to depend upon when he wants to finish that chain, or if he wants to hold off on it. Arc making his way over to Meyer. Meyer's an interesting decision. Nothing here, however. Are we gonna go in? Is he making the... Oh my goodness, Arc. We doing it? We're doing it. Oh boy. A very nice Ice Palace bomb jump from Akaelyne there, making it look easy. We're going right over to the right side first. Not a bad decision routing wise. It gets you because you can hit all of the chests on the left, the base of the left side of the dungeon done on your way to Cold Stare. I haven't considered going this way. I actually like it and might steal it. Indeed. Chat pointing out both runners from dungeons you don't want to be in without the cane. Mainly because one, you need the cane to finish, and the other, it makes it so much faster. The big key in the map chest, for those who don't know, the H room in Ice Palace is the map chest. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see what was in that chest, in the big key chest. What an exciting two dungeons, don't you think? Nothing terribly exciting so far. There's a map. So something, I have a feeling we've seen a couple items. Although what those are, we will not, we won't know until Akaelyne decides to possibly pause. Down the big chest, while Arc is waiting for a cutscene, falls down to the vanilla big key chest. There's Arcane of Samaria. Ooh, that's pretty big. Arcane of Samaria in Ice Palace. Whew. You hate to see it, because that means this ice is unbreakable. Cue laugh track. Does mean Arc isn't going to find it here, which is a little unfortunate. He's gonna have to. He will have to leave and come back, unless he finds something else in Mire. Although I do appreciate chasing the flute, knowing that it's in such a terrible place. There's a good chance progression's behind it. And blinking and miss it. Cold stares down, giving us a piece of heart. That'd be crystal number 3 for Akaelyne. There's the other Cain. Not the Cain you want to see. Arc now heading up the mountain. Act the decision to head where are we going? We're going to Magic Bat. See, this is okay for Arc. From Arc's point of view, this is fine. Because he did glitch here. Definitely accidentally. So picking this up now is perfectly fine. We see Magic Bat has a piece of heart. So nothing there. And we're back up the mountain. I wonder if this is gonna. I wonder where Akaelyne's planning to go. I could see this being a Hera play into a Turtle Rock play. Hera's green pendant. Yeah, Hera's 3 items. Yeah, but here's the thing: we don't have a mirror. So if you're going to do, if you're planning on doing Hera, you're going to do it before running over to TR. The Smiths was Red Rupee. We haven't seen Purple Chest. Oh, Bugnet was in here too. Wow. Always nice. Oh, Arcturus is fire. Has his ice rod too. My apologies. Yeah, Arc turned in Arc turned into the Smiths and just went straight to Mire. He's just chasing what he has. And it looks like, speaking of chasing, we're doing Spike Cave. Also not a bad time to do this. Mirror could be in desert. This is a true statement. Meanwhile, Akaelyne is making her way through Turtle Rock. Just a piece of heart in Spike Cave. Alright, 3 keys so far. Not the most exciting TR. Alright, Ark is taking his hammer, and it looks like he's heading... He's going to ice. This is probably a best case scenario for Ark. Because once he finds that, because he's going to grab his Samaria. And then we're going to be on a mirror hunt. Oh, Chain Chomp's hurt. Chain Chomp's hurt a lot. Chad is saying Mirror Ped. Well, that's a possibility. There's a non-zero chance the mirror's on Ped. I don't know how likely it is, but there is a non-zero chance that mirror was on Ped. But yeah, as Chad is also pointing out, the only useful thing that can be on Ped is the mirror. Samaria is in the Ice Palace big chest. Alright, continue working our way through here. Good news for Akaelyne. Mirror can't be in Mimic Cave here because you need the mirror to get to Mimic Cave. Bad news. They might be thinking that the flute could be there. So far, not a lot here, though, in Turtle Rock, but Turtle Rock likes to hide a lot of things on Laser Bridge. The front does have to be fairly loaded with keys to make it so you can get down to Laser Bridge logically. So there's a good chance. There's a very good chance. Half Magic's nice. That's a very nice safety. If the mirror is in desert, it's going to be very interesting to see where this book lands. If the book is here in Turtle Rock, there's a good chance that's going to keep pushing Akaelyne away from Thieves' Basement. Shield on Laser Bridge. Always fun, especially when it ends up being your third one. Not in this case, but always fun. And a piece of heart. So up we go to fight Trinex, who I believe does have an item at this point. Trying to use this powder to get a fairy just to be safe. You don't want to die on Trinex, especially if you haven't taken any safety doors, as Akaelyne hasn't. The life refill is nice. Very, very useful. And off we go. Trinex melt with butter. So we'll see how this fight ends up playing out. Ah, there's the powder, of course. Now we all know. I was wondering when Akaelyne got the powder. It appears to be that. And Trinex is down. Giving Akaelyne their pendant. Fortunately, did not see what was on Trinex. Alright, and despite K for Akaelyne, gonna get a lonely piece of heart here. Meanwhile, Arc is gonna take his dive into Ice Palace boss, whose name is Goldstar. This is true. It was not the mirror, or else we definitely would have seen her go into Hera right then and there. I do believe this is her deciding to go up into Hera next. I suppose it has to be. There's nothing else really up here on the mountain. And crystal for Arc. Crystal number 3, in fact. Are taking a second look at his map just to double check what he needs to do. It'll be interesting to see where he goes next. Sanctuary. Interesting. Meanwhile, Akaelyne heading into the Tower of Hera. Green Pendant Hera is effectively 3 items. Not a bad decision. Since we do have that green pendant turn in at Sahasrara. Both runners do have to make their way back to Pod to finish that dungeon out at some point. I do believe they're both holding off because it's devoid of items at this point. Although we're going to get there is a red crystal. Red crystal being important in the event that something is in Pyramid Fairy. But in this case, it can't be the mirror because we also need Swamp Palace to even get in there. Maybe. I actually do not know. I will be honest. I was half paying attention to Arc's traversal through Mire here. I do know we got the blue cane, but that's about it. So there's 1, maybe 0 items here. If the mirror is here, that's huge. We did see 50 rupees up here in the Tower of Hera. And then the small key, of course. Moldorm also melts with butter. Most things just melt like butter with butter. And the map, there is something in the Hera basement. That is pendant number 2 for Akaelyne, though. So let's see what's in the basement. Meanwhile, Ark's gonna head toward his 4th crystal to just finish up this dungeon. Take a small coffee break. Silver Arrow's Vitreous is one of the easiest bosses in the game. As long as you have 11 arrows. And down he goes. And there was a second item, but it was just a piece of heart. There's crystal number 4 for Arcturus Chusky. Alright, moment of truth. What's in the Hera basement? It is 10 arrows. Unfortunate. So what's next for our runners? It could be Green Pendant turn-in. That makes the most sense for Akaelyne here. Ark's going to clean up his boots checks, which we know is going to yield pretty much nothing. It could be on a mirrorless purple chest, or at hammer pegs. Neither of those have been done. Great, 20 rupees from the Green Pendant. So far, our 2 pendants, the 2 of the 3 pendants we've gone into have had nothing. Hera yielded nothing. Turtle Rock. I mean, Turtle Rock gave us half magic, but that's about it. We know the flute is, you know, hiding in Thieves' Town basement. And we've also got this lovely purple chest and hammer pegs. So Akaelyne's gonna get their flute here. It's gonna. I'm very interested to see if she also finishes the dungeon. This could be a play to Ped. If the mirror's on Ped, then Akaelyne is 100% ahead in this scene. Alright, Arc changed his mind, doesn't care about Hera, is gonna leave. Oh no, he's resetting his Ancilla, never mind. I missed that he picked up an item in the air, which is the one thing you don't want to do when setting up Herapod. There we go. Very nice setup. Ark's turn to face off with Moldorn. Akaelyne gets their flutes, is going to take blind and finish the fight, and I imagine we're going to go full Ped after this. That's what's left after. But between both runners, what is left? We have, for what we can do, we have purple chest, hammer pegs, and ped. I imagine we're definitely gonna see ped next. Probably what they stop in CAC to activate the flute, so we can get back down here relatively quickly. Third pendant for Akaelyne. Arc missed the coffee break, but decides to opt to put on his cape and hold the wall instead. Akaelyne making the play to hammer pegs first. And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 6 seconds. Akaelyne is in go mode. Arc heading right over to Turtle Rock after this. It's the most dense play. It makes the most sense. Fortunately, not where he needs to be right now. Of course, Dead Rocksters getting in the way, as they do. So we'll have to see where the big key, where the big key was, because I don't remember. I know this is a small. I don't remember if the big key was vanilla or not. It may have been. I have the distinct memory of it being vanilla for some reason. I'd be correct. That small key there means that the big key has to be in its vanilla location at the cutscene chest. Which I'm sure is a relief for Akaelyne to know. Because once you know where the key is, you just have to go and get it. Akaelyne gonna make her way right back to Vitreous again. An easy fight with Silvers, given our current loadout. Arc's still making his way through Turtle Rock. Good use of the fire rod there. Nice spooky setup by Akaelyne. I didn't even notice it in the first rooms, but right there, shooting the fire rod at the torch there definitely confirmed the spooky action was in action, I suppose. And blinking you miss it. Vitreous down. Crystal number 5 for Akaelyne. Arcturus is half magic. Again, a nice safety. Not exactly what we're looking for here. Take this mirror and go right into Desert Palace. Oops, there's another bottle. The fairy. Akaelyne has no interest in the fairy. A small key, which means our big key is on the right side. Off we go to collect it. Arc taking the safety door just in case. It's always a good thing to be safe. And there it is, a vanilla big key. A simple mirror out, and off we go to fight Landmolus. Arc taking on Trinex. And Trinex is down. Again, butter. Just you melt through everything. I don't know how many times I can say it. I'm saying that more than I said I was going to say boots this season. I'm sure he's not happy to see another heart container. Landmo here. 3 silver arrows. Bam. Also done. Then we'll give Akaelyne her 5th crystal. Alright, both players fluting to where they, hopefully to where they need to go. Arc in the village. He's gonna do Magic Bat first, it seems. Understandably so. Because if it's there and you're in the Dark World, you can't exactly do anything about it. Akaelyne heading to Swamp. This is gonna be super quick. All we gotta do is open up that first chest and then go fight Argus. Although Ark definitely needs to get to Hammer Pegs as soon as possible if he wants to have a chance of coming back. Akaelyne into Swamp Palace. Grabbing the small key, and we're just gonna head right on through. All right, and here it is. Ark is going to pick up his mirror. At 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 47 seconds, Arcturus Chusky is also in go mode. Quick, nice, and easy diver down from Akaelyne there. We're just running through the water. Gotta get to Vidi as soon as possible. So this is Argus, it's not Vidi. You all know who I mean. Sorry, sometimes it takes a second to register exactly what I just said. And the red boomerang. What a prize from Argus. But that is crystal number 6 for Akaelyne. So flute on over to the eastern area to go to Pod. Take down Helmsor King, and then we'll be on our way up the mountain for GT. Another quick, very quick landmill fight. Ark deciding to go to Pod before Swamp. not a bad decision. You still have to do all the dungeons anyway. This is a dungeon you basically already full cleared. You already have the key. You just got to go fight the boss. Not a bad decision. Akaelyne is making her way down through the dark rooms. We'll be heading into the Helmosaur King fight here momentarily. And in we go. 17 hammer hits, and then 2 slashes from that gold sword will take down the King of the Helmosaurs. And there he goes. With that, 7 crystals in hand. You know what time it is. There's a game we like to play. There are 22 checks in Ganon's Tower basement for where the big key can be. If you like to guess. Pick a number between 1 and 22. That's simple. You have until Akaelyne enters Ganon's Tower. I tend to guess 8. That's my favorite number to guess. Feel free to guess other things. As far as I know, the bot is broken. The bot has been broken and will be fixed when someone else decides to fix it. So if you would like the bot back, donate some time and we can have it. Alright, and Helmosaur is down for Arc as well. I'll try to shout you out if you guess correctly, I promise. Alright, 7 crystals swirling. We're about to open up the tower. Meanwhile, Arc is heading into Swamp Palace. Well, we didn't see it was on Torch, but given that we have 2 small keys, I'm going to assume it was a small key. Two for a heart. It's somewhere in it's somewhere in DM's room. Yes, it is somewhere between 2 and 5. Or rather, it's 3. It's somewhere between 3 and 5. That is the answer. Nice bomb diver down from Arc. A very clean Moldorm 2 there as well. Not Moldorm. Boss names. Heck. Landmo 2. We're going to Moldorm 2 here in a moment. Arc going to be taking down Argus here. Missing a couple arrows here. Opting for spins instead. Gets his red boomerang and his last crystal. Akaelyne making her way around. Popping down into the Moldorm 2 arena. Moldorm 2 down, and off we go. Very small trigonometry lesson before we can take on the pig. Aga always has to test our knowledge just to make sure we know how our angles work. And down goes the wizard. Well, that's how you get an A+ on your test there. Arc opening up GT. And into the Ganon fight. Off we go. Nice and easy with butter and silvers. This should take no time at all. Oh no, silver, my one true weakness, as Ganon says frequently. And 1, 2, oh, almost with the triple. Ooh! Akaelyne taking a death on Ganon. Back in for round 2 though. Nothing's gonna stand in her way of victory. Just in her grasp. Ganon even says, "Don't stand so close to me." It's okay. Occasionally, a hug from the pig is okay. Occasionally. And there's the key. Ark will be starting his climb as Akaelyne is finishing up her seed. This time, taking down the pig. Ark begins his climb. And with that, the pig is down. One more boss. The infamous 1x3 bridge. Get your GGs in chat for Akaelyne. Finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 39 seconds. Ark just making his way up through the climb. Opting for torch is 1. Torch is 1. That's a lamp though, Trey. Get your names right. Not a bad decision though, when you're a little low on magic. Moving right along. It's a few more rooms until Ark gets his trigonometry test. I guess it could also be geometry if you wish, but we gotta take down Moldorm 2 first, which he does very solidly. we go. Nice triple. That was very nice. Into a double. Arc's been studying his trig. And one final showdown with Ganon. $18 blue mail with butter and silvers. Again, you couldn't get too much more of a comfier fight with Ganon than this. And half magic to boot. A very nice fight. As long as you know he stops teleporting. Oh no, silver. One more arrow will do it. And the pig is down. But get your GGs in chat for Arcturus Chusky finishing off this seed as well. Finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 30 seconds. GG's to both of our runners. Akaelyne has declined interview just so that she may sleep, as it is very late her time. We should be joined by Arc here momentarily. Speak of the devil, we are joined by Arcturus Chusky. GG's, Arc. So. Normally I'd say I have several questions, but give me a second to think of some.
Okay.
I guess initial thoughts. How about that? I don't even know what item to pick to ask about placement. Start with flute, I guess.
I was ecstatic to find the flute.
I can imagine.
Because I was actually thinking I was going to find the hammer on blind, finding that early small key. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go all the way through, got to the cell, found that flute, and I was like, okay, I got to chase this. Unfortunately, it didn't really lock anything, but I was pretty happy to find that in blind cell.
I imagine so. You actually got to it much earlier than Akaelyne did.
Yeah.
About it was almost half an hour.
Wow.
So because so you both basically almost did the same exact early route, like literally to a T, until you both got to Thieves Town.
Mm-hmm.
At which point you went in and said, "Oh, you know what? I got the small key. Let's keep going." And then she left because I have the fire rod.
Yeah.
Go back to Skull Woods,
Which makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like, and I was actually surprised that you weren't doing that too, because why would you?
Right?
But no, then you went back and got your flute, and it worked a bit in your favor for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that lovely cane of Samaria. I sense the resentment
Always.
already.
Always in ice.
Always an
Always.
ice. Yep. And not even in a good place where you could just grab it and call it a day. No, you have to
Exactly.
go through Ice Palace. Hmm. What else was silly this seed?
The mirror.
The Yeah, what made you put, I mean, other than obviously the hammer was in a terrible place, well, what made you put off going back to Purple Chest and Hammer Pigs for so long?
It was really the fact that it was much more dense to do Hera and uh, Turtle Rock, and I was getting Ped vibes. So I figured, okay, I'll do these two pendants. Then I'll go do Smith Chain. If it's not Smith Chain, I can just go back to Thieves Town and beat Blind real quick and then pull Ped.
I mean, that's fair. I don't fault you at all for that.
But I'll tell you, it was going against every fiber of my being not to go do Smith Chain. And I'm so kicking myself right now. Because I was telling myself, my opponent's probably not going to do Smith Chain for a while. That is a chance for me to get ahead. And I didn't listen to myself. Listen to your gut, everyone. It's usually right.
Is that what I need to write into Clown Routing 102? Listen to your gut.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Trust your gut.
Well, the lessons we learn. Um, that's not a bad collection rate difference actually. Looking at it, you're 160 to her 147. That's not
Okay.
terrible.
Yeah, and
That's actually. Go ahead.
I'm honestly really happy I kept it as close as I did, because she's a fantastic runner, and for me to keep it basically 5-ish minutes, 6 minutes, kind of, um, I'm walking away with my head held high today. I would have liked to, bring home the win, but it's a personal win.
Absolutely. Like it was a great race. It was a little hard to tell who was ahead just because you had the flute and with where everything ended up being, it was definitely a there could have been some back and forth. There definitely could have been. But it was pretty good. When did you get the mirror shield?
In
Was it in GT? Because
GT, yeah,
of course it
it
was.
was in Compass Room, I think.
Oh, naturally. I didn't even because like I didn't even notice you pick it up.
It was either in Compass Room or it was in DM Room before I got the big key.
I'm imagining it was Compass Room because Akaelyne doesn't have it, so I'm guessing it's over there. And she went straight left,
Okay, gotcha.
which I mean I don't fault your GT routing. That was probably what I would have done too. So I understand. Um, any thoughts on the coming weeks and what you're feeling with the rest of how our division is gonna pan out?
Um, I'm just taking it week by week. Focusing on my matches. Really excited for co-op coming up. I or not co-op. Spoiler. I really enjoy spoiler, so that'll be fun. And just showing up every week, trying to run my race and do my thing as best as I can, and hopefully be able to rebound from this week and come back next week with a win or two.
Yeah. Alrighty. Um, if you guys aren't, please give these guys a follow. Both Arc and Akaelyne, both fantastic runners. If you also get a chance, our restreamer, Pull Float, thank you so much for picking this race up. I appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in. Arc, do you have any final thoughts you want to throw toward chat?
follow our commentator, Trey Spire. He's incredibly entertaining and a really, really uh, fun guy and fun to watch race this silly game. So make sure you drop him a follow too.
Well, I mean, other than that, but
No,
thanks. Uh,
you'll take my plug and like it, Trey.
I guess. I guess.
But
Uh,
no, thank you for coming. Pool Flow, thank you for restreaming, and GG's to my opponent. That was a seed.
it definitely was. All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you everyone. We've got more races on the horizon. Plenty more this week with Kaz Boots. And as we alluded to, next week we've got some pilot spoiler. So keep an eye out for more races on all of these lovely A Link to the Past Randomizer League channels. Until then, as I have been Trey Spire, thank you all for being here. Have a great evening.